How to find out if your husband is cheating. No one will argue that it is incredibly painful to consider the possibility of your husband cheating on you. However, if you have reasons to suspect that he is cheating or think you do, then it is time to start looking for the signs that he is being unfaithful. The longer you put off dealing with this devastating situation, the worse you will feel if you find out he has not been honest with you. If you want to know if your husband has been cheating on you, then you should look at what he says and does around you, and pay attention to what has changed. If you want to know whether he is cheating, just follow these steps. Notice what he does. Look for a change in your man's sex drive. There are two changes to look for here. The more obvious one is that if your man is seeing someone else, he may not be excited about sex anymore. If your sex life has been dwindling for a while, then not having much sex doesn't mean your man is cheating, but if he used to be excited about getting into bed with you and isn't anymore, it may be a sign that he's getting it elsewhere. Another change you may notice is that suddenly your man has an insatiable sexual appetite. This may mean that his sex drive has become more intense because he's sleeping with another lady. See what he's like in bed. Is he suddenly much more adventurous than before? Has he always stuck to the same routine, and is he now trying to spice things up every time you get into bed? He may be getting his moves from another woman. You should also see if he's suddenly shy with his body around you and doesn't want you to see him with his shirt off. If he only wants to have sex in the dark, then it may be because he does not feel right about sharing his body with two women. See if your man is suddenly showering you with kindness. He may be much nicer to you because he feels guilty for being unfaithful. If he's been distant or uncommunicative, or if he just isn't a very demonstrative person, but he's suddenly being very kind and sweet, and always telling you nice things, then it may be because he's trying to compensate for seeing someone on the side. But then again, he could just be being nicer because you are going through a rough patch and he is trying to make it up to you. If he suddenly brings you flowers, chocolate, and sweet cards, he could just be trying to be bringing back that loving feeling. Alternatively, he may be compensating for cheating. See if he is suddenly much more helpful. If your husband is not normally too handy around the house, but now he's doing the dishes, doing the grocery shopping, or even doing the cooking, then something may be up. He's certainly trying to compensate for something, and it may be cheating. But again, maybe he's just trying to be nice suddenly, or wants something else from you as a result. Still, when he completely changes his household habits, you should be on the alert. Look for changes in your man's mood. If your man is usually moody and is suddenly walking on sunshine, or if he's normally stable and now goes through erratic ups and downs, then something may be up. If he's grinning ear to ear and looking off into the distance like he's thinking of someone else, then his good mood may have nothing to do with you. Also, look out if he storms home and looks upset, and then tries to blame it on work or something that never made him upset before. If you see his mood change after he takes a quick phone call or reads a text, then another woman may be the reason. See if he's changed his habits around his phone. If he used to leave his phone out on the table for hours, or if he was the type of man who would leave the house and forget his phone all the time, but suddenly he and his phone are inseparable, then something may be up. If he never leaves his phone out anymore, panics when he can't find his phone, and doesn't check his texts around you or just acts every shady around his phone, then you may have reason to worry. If he suddenly put a password on his phone but never cared for privacy before, then something may be up. If he steps out to take a phone call and comes back looking either upset, excited, or apologetic, you may start to wonder who's on the other line. If you walk in when he's on the phone and he abruptly ends the conversation, then he may be talking to another woman. If he used to be diligent about answering his phone, and now you can go hours without getting in touch with him, then he may be spending that time with another woman. If he shuts off his phone for hours and he never used to do that, it is not a good sign. Check out his behavior near his computer. If he never cared for the computer much before, but is suddenly spending all of his time online, it may be because of another woman. If he stays up late on the computer after you've gone to bed suddenly, or if he abruptly shuts his computer when you walk in, it's a bad sign. If you see him on the computer and his face suddenly lights up, as if he's talking to a crush, then it may mean he's cheating. If he does not go on the computer when you are in the room, then he may not want you to see what is on the screen. Pay attention to his excuses. If you and your husband spent most of your free time together, and he's suddenly never around for suspicious reasons, then he may be spending his time with another lady. If he's always having a guys' night, spending every night late at work, or has suddenly found a passion for a new sport and is spending all of his free time at the gym, then he may be using these excuses to get away with his mistress. Of course, he could genuinely have picked up a love for a new sport, or he may really have to stay late at work every night, but if he's never done either of these things before and has shown several other suspicious signs, then it may mean that he's cheating. Notice what he says. Several things that your man can say may indicate that he is cheating on you. Here are some things to look out for. If he used to compliment you all the time but never compliments you anymore, it may be because he is thinking of someone else. If he wasn't much of a sweet talker before but is always suddenly complimenting you, he may be doing it to compensate for being with someone else. If he just sounds different, using words you've never heard before, laughing in a new way, or just phrasing his words differently, he may have picked this up from another lady.